And hello, welcome back to the Gay Racing Podcast. Zack and Alex are back with you. And Alex, it is a time to celebrate.
Yay! A big win.
If you are a racing fan and you like cute boys, and man, you gotta like what happened in NASCAR this weekend. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It was a good weekend.
Am living my best life as I'm the number one Harrison Burton fan. I want to say that right now. All you other little dirty gay people, y'all can back off. I'm the number one Harrison Burton fan. I have been supporting him since I first laid eyes on him. You know, I loved his dad. I didn't really love his dad. I always thought his dad was cool. I'm just saying. All I'm saying.
And I can confirm this because as long as I've known you, Harrison's always been like in your top five of all your drivers.
Harrison Burton. When he was in trucks, I would play him on the NASCAR heat games. I'm so happy this moment happened at all. Yeah, honestly, because I didn't think it would. You know, that's how magical of a night this was here at Daytona. And I don't know if I'm going to talk about it later, but man, this race just... It had some of that 4th of July aura that I feel like's been missing from the event.
It did. And I think I know why. I think we both know why, and we'll talk about that.
Oh, I don't know if we're thinking the same thing, but I think
we are. We're in sync. Too. We're always in sync, Zach.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Hey, Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi actually didn't argue on their podcast, so it's a good week for gay podcast duos. Well,
yeah, very true.
Podcast duos, at least.
But I don't think we're going to argue this. I don't think we're going to argue this week. I think we're going to agree on pretty much everything this week.
Yeah, because we're happy. We're in a good mood. We enjoy things. We love NASCAR. I don't know if you knew that.
Fun fact, actually.
We watch, but we actually enjoy what we watch. Like it's.
Yeah, we don't hate
not everything, but.
But
we'll break it all
you guys,
down. We have a lot to talk about.
If you're one of our loyal listeners or watchers that do not watch NASCAR, and there are a few of you, Harrison Burton won at Daytona.
Oh yeah, we never said that.
If you don't know who Harrison Burton is, he was going into Daytona, was last in points of all the active drivers, right?
You don't have to say it so loud.
Everyone else is yelling it. I figured I'd yell
it too. Y'all don't have to say it so loud. Like, my God.
But listen.
Embarrassing.
But listen. He is driving the Wood Brothers car. He will not be in that car next year. This is essentially a 4th Penske car. Josh Berry will be in that car next year. And this was the 100th win for the Wood Brothers. They haven't won a race in Cup since Ryan Blaney in 2017 at Pocono.
100th win.
Just all around, this is an amazing story. The guy who lost his job, underdog driver, the Wood Brothers, every factor of this is just like such a good, heartwarming story. And you saw Jeff Burton get to celebrate. He was in the TV booth with NBC.
The fact that Jeff Burton got to be a part of that, and so Leigh Diffey like throwing it off to Jeff as soon as Harrison crosses the line, like your little boy did it. I think that's part of the reason I found that whole event emotional, like that whole win emotional, because like, I mean, I lost my father a few years ago. So anytime I see like affection between like a father and son, it just really warms my heart.
Right. And we've seen Jeff Burton get excited for wins before and everything, like when he went to Texas and Harrison famously turned left. Jeff Burton was very, very excited at that as well. It just all around, man. This is a great story, and we'll talk about the whole playoff impact and everything, but just so cool. And Harrison Burton, he gets the win in overtime after getting a huge push from Parker Retzlaff. If you don't know who, that's such a great graphic.
The video listeners, this 100 wins Wood Brothers graphic. I just wanted to bring it up when you mentioned it. Awesome. It's got all of like the other previous winners for the Wood Brothers like in the background. And that Harrison getting to, be a part of that legacy. And for what he's doing, we'll talk later, getting that team now into the playoffs, what that could do financially for this team is kind of a big
huge
deal. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I want to talk about as well. But how Harrison got there, as I was saying, he got a huge push from Parker Retzlaff, and you're probably like, who is that? He
He's the guy
drives
that
for
got
Jordan
bronze
Anderson.
in the gymnastics. Oh no, that's a different
Oh,
class guy. Never
yeah,
mind.
That he's into Dancing with the Stars. Actually, I heard
He literally looks like Steve. I don't even know how to say his last name still. Steven Nord something.
Steve
Steve.
and my friend Steve.
My friend Steve. Yes.
Yeah,
He literally looks
but,
like him. Just not as nice.
Yeah. But he drives for Jordan Anderson Racing in the Xfinity Series in the 31. I don't even think he's in the Xfinity playoffs. But he got the opportunity. This is his second Cup start. He's in the 62 car. Pushed him to the lead ahead of Kyle Busch. And man,
What? I texted
Kyle
for that restart. I'm like, okay, Harrison has this rookie behind him. Never has done this before. Nah, it's wraps.
Kyle Busch had Christopher Bell behind him, former teammate. Christopher Bell's experienced now. And again, you have the inexperience on the outside with Harrison and Parker Retzlaff. And it's just like, well, and then there's the other layer of it. Parker Retzlaff, the 62 car, is essentially a Childress car.
Yes.
And
yes.
He was told over the radio, Parker Retzlaff was, do not push a 21 to the victory. He did. But
okay.
But look,
listen.
If they hold that against him, I would find that in very bad taste, because
RCR is trying to do their best Michael Waltrip Racing impression, apparently. Like, that's kind of manipulation.
Yeah, but manufacturer stuff, we've seen that Daytona Talladega before. I know what you're saying.
It's just a little... I'm glad... I am surprised, though, that Parker pushed him. Like,
it was a huge push.
I mean, what choice does he have, though, as well?
Right.
He's not just going to jump out of line. He could win that race himself.
Right.
Parker Retzlaff could. So he had to...
Put his name on the map.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But TLDR on that, I think he did nothing wrong, obviously. No one did anything wrong on this last restart. I mean, you could say Kyle Busch maybe should have went up to block Harrison when he had the chance, but Harrison had no one behind him, so Harrison probably could have just went down and they could have swapped lanes.
I mean, Harrison could have juked him, or Harrison could have, he had a huge run. I mean, Harrison could have just wrecked Kyle, honestly, with the momentum.
And speak of wrecking someone, Kyle Busch said the only chance he had was to just wreck him, just flat out wreck him.
So I have a lot to say about that, actually, and it makes me happy and sad at the same time, because we have seen that situation many times. Like, I was surprised Harrison was able to pull off 2 blocks. We talked about it at Talladega, with Michael McDowell trying to block Keselowski. It just doesn't work. The runs are too great. You can't do it. You're just going to wreck yourself. We saw it at Daytona in 2020, coming to the line at the 500 with Blaney and Newman, right? It's so easy. We saw it 2021 with the Penske team. It's just so easy to wreck on the last lap fighting for the lead, because the runs are huge and guys try to block it. But this time, Harrison Burton was able to get that block off. And is that because Kyle Busch is like one of the only guys in the field who's not going to wreck Harrison in that situation? Because Kyle Busch has enough respect for this sport, I guess. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you put Carson Hocevar in that 8 car, he's
21's upside down. 21.
Put Austin Dillon, obviously, as we found out in that spot, he's turning the 21, or like he's pushing through him. Like, I don't like, did Kyle Busch let up? I respect the hell out of him for that, but also that frustrates me because Kyle Busch could have wrecked the 21 and gotten himself into the playoffs and probably not get penalized.
Right.
You know what? Like, that whole thing just makes me really uncomfortable, because I loved what we saw. I love the fact that Harrison was able to hold it off, bias aside, because we need to see more clean super speedway finishes.
Yes.
We don't need to tear up cars all the time. But that makes me think that was a anomaly, because Kyle Busch is, not like other drivers at this point. Can't believe I'm saying that in 2024. Like, Kyle Busch isn't going to be as aggressive as other drivers because he's older, he's smarter, he has more respect for the sport. Any other driver in that situation, that 21 car is probably in the catch fence. Like, it's just kind of sad that only probably happened. But maybe I'm wrong, because,
So Kyle Busch leads with 1 to go, and still winless, of course. He likely not going to make the playoffs. I'd be shocked if he wins the Southern 500. And we're getting
Good
to a
karma.
point.
Wait, what if karma, for what I just said, what if karma pays him back? Because we've seen Eric Jones win the 500. If Eric Jones can win the Southern 500, certainly Kyle Busch can win it, right?
We'll see.
And Lord.
Well, you were lagging on my end. I don't know who's having issues.
We're fine.
But let's move into Leigh Diffey, because Leigh Diffey ate this up. Because talk about Kyle Busch. Leigh Diffey was calling Kyle Busch home to win this race, but then as soon as Harrison gets that push from Retzlaff, Leigh just instantly changes the story. But here comes Harrison Burton, just flawless transition in the call he was making, and starts calling Harrison to the win. Just brilliant. And you and I had talked about this. Like, Leigh Diffey is going to put on one of the best calls we've seen in years. It's definitely up there.
He built us to that moment, and he made it even more special. And I love how I'm glad we're not the only people talking. Like, everyone that has ears on Twitter has been complimenting the heck out of that call. And that's exactly what Leigh Diffey, or that's what we deserve. That's what Leigh Diffey deserves. And it's just good for the sport to have, honestly, the best play-by-play in the world. He's the best. There's no one better. And for racing, there's no one better. He calls the Olympics right here in America, like for NBC. It's perfect. He's so good at his craft. And NASCAR is so privileged to have him in their booth.
Yep.
It's honestly a shame that he'll only be in there for like 14 races next year.
I know.
It's a shame. Like, can
really
we get him for all 36 races? Like,
can Fox leave and NBC takes the Fox half too?
Oh my God.
Like, please.
Like, that kind of frustrates me that he's going to come on after, like, they've had 20 races every year for so many years now, but now he comes on. It's a little frustrating.
Man. But Slay of the Week to Leigh Diffey. Just, of course, he has done previous Cup races before, and those calls that Michigan won with when Kyle Larson won, people been referring to that for years. Like, this is one of the best calls in history. Like, he knocked it out of the park. He's in the booth the rest of the season, presumably, as you allude to, full time after this year too. He's just brilliant, man.
And people
brilliant.
Kind of had the idea that he wouldn't really fit NASCAR. What are you talking about?
He can do anything. He can do anything.
Did that, so he's doing it better than what Rick Allen's doing right now. And all respect to Rick Allen, but it's just
beyond the finish, the entire race, the energy was so hot. It was high energy.
At the right moment.
Obviously had studied the entire, prepared for this. He felt so prepared. He knew all the storylines going in, and he has not been in the booth. Like, there was an interview that he did. He's like, I've been watching, I've been studying, I watched previous races. Like, that's what he should do, right? That's duh. But it's also just like, people were like, well, he's not going to fit in, blah, blah. This man, this year, has done IMSA, Supercross, IndyCar, and now NASCAR on top of the Olympics. And he's done all of them.
I feel like you're missing something, too. I think you're missing something.
I probably am missing something.
Like, he's done everything. He's so good.
But think about it. And when you add on to it, he's done the Rolex 24, the Indianapolis 500, the Olympics as a whole. He's going to do the Southern 500 this weekend and the NASCAR Championship. He's just doing all these huge events.
The rings on his finger must be amazing. He mentioned the Rolex 24 when Barry or someone wrecked past the chicane, and I got tingles on my neck. I was like, "Ooh, the Rolex 24." Leigh Diffey just said the Rolex 24 in a NASCAR race at Daytona. Everything felt so right in the world. Oh, he's the best racing, and I've been listening to this guy since I was 8 years old. When I watched the Grand Am series, which is now IMSA, I've been listening to this guy forever, and his voice has always stuck out to me, obviously. He's Australian. His voice sticks out, but he's just his energy, right? The only other person who was ever able to match that energy in the booth was Larry McReynolds 15 years ago.
Yeah, literally. Though,
Imagine a booth with Leigh Diffey and Larry Mack from 15 years ago.
Oh,
Oh my God, the
girl.
energy would be unmatched.
Please.
That would
Oh
be a
my
really
God.
good booth. Oh my God.
Let's bring the action. Pull them belts tight one more time.
Like, hell,
I'd be like
DW.
screaming, and the race hasn't even
DW.
started
Why
yet.
not? Let's get DW. DW and
Why
Leigh
not?
would get along well.
It'd be a funny
Let's
pairing.
do it.
But
Oh my God.
lovely Diffy.
We're so happy.
Yeah, we're so happy, guys. Let's talk about something that people are not happy about.
Well, hold up. Is Leigh Diffey why you think that race had aura, or is it a different reason?
Oh, yeah.
That's what you were alluding to. That's what I think that might have, because it's like a fresh start. It's like a fresh start for all of us. I don't know.
It feels like a new era. Maybe not for NASCAR specifically, but of NBC. Like this is just like it's elevated to a whole new level.
Yes.
Yeah. It did feel like it felt like the summer Daytona race had meaning again. It's the same race, but it's just like it felt like.
And we'll get into that with
July.
this next topic.
Yeah. So let's talk about the playoff format because everyone's talking about that. And as I said earlier, Harrison is the last in points of all the full-time drivers, and he's now in the playoffs. And I understand that is very controversial, right? But look, you guys, everyone goes into the season with knowing it is the same format. Ross Chastain has had all season to get a win, right? And now he's out. Bubba Wallace has had a chance to get a win all year. He's out right now. Sorry. But at least NASCAR made a point to say, hey, you cannot intentionally wreck someone to win a race. So Austin Dillon is not in the playoffs. Imagine if he was in. Then Chris Buescher would be out right now too.
Yeah.
The thing is that this race finishes, and this is, in my opinion, one of the best positive stories of NASCAR this season. And a lot of the reaction is, oh my God, now he's in the playoffs. This format sucks. NASCAR's so stupid. I'm not going to watch anymore. They continue to watch. And it's just like, can you enjoy one thing?
Right.
Can you be happy for like 5 minutes?
People also claim that this would be a great underdog win if the playoffs weren't involved. If like the playoffs are ruining this underdog win. But you're letting it ruin Zach, the underdog win, I feel like.
It still is a fantastic underdog win.
Yes.
It still is. That is the whole point. That is why NASCAR got rid of the top 30 rule. And I think last year you and I were hesitant toward them doing that. But I'm not opposed to it necessarily because you get cool stories like this. Is Harrison Burton going to be a round one exit? Yeah, probably. But
I can't say for sure because with the schedule.
But that's the thing too. There's a slim chance Harrison could do really well or win Atlanta and advance. And now you have this crazy storyline of Harrison Burton making a playoff run.
And
is
that's
it likely?
Compelling.
No, but it's a compelling story.
That's true.
And to give someone to root for as an underdog. And I think that's what NASCAR was going for when they did this. And with this format, sure, the Daytona 500, you've had too many random winners. I understand that. The prestige. We've talked about that on this podcast as well. Yeah. But you're going to have that in super speedway racing.
Especially how it is now.
Yeah. But look, Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Busch, none of them were going to win the championship before this.
That's my point with the whole thing. It's like, the thing about the playoffs is I feel like it's built, sure. Is it more likely that Bubba Wallace and Chris Buescher and Ross Chastain can contend for the championship? Of course. But does it really matter that much if they don't make the playoffs? They weren't going to win the championship anyways.
Yep.
Guys like Reddick and Hamlin, Larson, Byron, and who else? Someone else I'm missing, Blaney, even like they are actual contenders. Okay.
Yep.
I feel like the playoffs consist of like the 8 or 10 guys that are the actual contenders, and then everyone else is just a little bonus. And everyone else is fighting to be one of those bonus guys.
Yep.
That rarely, kind of like Chase Briscoe that one year, makes it to the round of 8, right? Rarely do these kind of bonus guys make it to the round of 8, but it happens every now and then. And it's a cool story.
And you know what, Zach? It rarely happens, especially in the recent years, because of the playoff points.
Yes.
they are rewarded for the full season. And if you do good in the full season, you're more likely to advance further. We saw it last year with Martin Truex. He absolutely sucked in the playoffs, but he still made it pretty far. He didn't make it to the championship 4, but still, you're still rewarded. Harrison Burton, I don't think he's won a stage, right? So he's going to have 5 playoff points. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney, those guys are all going to have like 20 to 30 playoff points. That's like half a race.
It's a tall task to try to make it past.
Harrison Burton is at a huge disadvantage going into the playoffs. So it's not like he's going to come in. I mean, yeah, he could win Atlanta, as you said, Zach. But is it likely that he's going to come in and win Atlanta, win Talladega, and then make it to Championship 4? No, but it gives something for people to root for if they don't have like a driver or something. To me, like it's a good story, and it doesn't inherently mean the format is flawed. I mean, sure, you can have a personal opinion and say it is, and that's fine. I understand where you're coming from, but it's not something to be like the series is trash, the format's ruining everything. Like, just lighten up a bit,
Because I don't know if this is I get it. I get having this conversation with Austin Dillon because wrecked guys to win at Richmond, because it was just like, oh, this guy's getting rewarded for doing something really ugly. Yeah. Now before the overtime happened at Richmond, if Austin Dillon would have just won, on merit, which he was about to, then that's I think maybe we're having a similar conversation.
I agree,
but probably so, since it wasn't at Daytona, like it was an actual racetrack. But I do empathize with people that don't like the playoffs. I really do.
We used to be those people.
I mean, I still kind of am sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like,
it has flaws. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do I want the champion of NASCAR to be the best driver all season? Yes, I do. I really do. Right. But also, I kind of like, the fact that I get to see Harrison Burton and Austin Cindric and Daniel Suarez try to make a big upset in the playoffs. Yep. It's a storyline, especially with the schedule, how it is in the playoffs this year with Atlanta and Watkins Glen, like in round 1. So I don't know. I just think, and because the way Harrison won this race, again, he won it with skill. I mean, those blocks he put on Busch, again, I don't know if Busch chose not to wreck him, but that was pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
Managing that run to get past Busch in the first place. You got to feel good for him,
Right.
And Wood Brothers, because the financial kind of boost this is going to give the team, which part of me is a little confused about, because it's like, yes, this is like basically a 4th Penske car, but John Wood was making it sound like this is such a huge deal for, I guess, everything else that Wood Brothers as a team still manages. I don't know what the difference is, like how much happens in the Penske shop. Like maybe that's like marketing and merch and but personnel. I don't know.
I do want to say I'm so glad that Leonard Wood is still here to be able to see the 100th win for Wood Brothers.
That is cool, isn't it?
It's again, that's another layer of just how cool of a story this is.
I wish my dad could have seen this too, like, because he's been watching that. He watched NASCAR for a long time, so he probably would have thought this was really cool.
Yeah. And I do want to go back to what you said about Austin Dillon. And you're right. He was going to win that race before the overtime happened. If that were to happen, albeit he's not the most popular driver, like Harrison's a lot more popular and well-liked, obviously, among the fan base. But it still would have been a very cool story. Like, whoa, Austin Dillon just randomly won Richmond.
Yeah. And then I like still be like, would be like, can he carry the speed into the playoffs?
Right.
Yeah.
And it would have been a unique story. It would have been positive for the team. So to me, like, even though Austin Dillon, again, 32nd, Harrison 34th, it's a positive story, but it's not going, in my opinion, going to change the outcome of the championship. Because it's blocking people like Ross Chastain, who's having a mediocre year. It's not blocking a Denny Hamlin. It's blocking a Ross Chastain. Like, that's not the same thing.
Yeah, and I mean NASCAR is all about winning, and these guys are getting punished for not winning. I mean, as much as that kind of
He
is
had all
stupid
year
and
to
it
win.
sucks. There's 26 races. Winning's
Yep.
not that hard. It's hard.
And
It's
guess
hard
what?
if
They
you're
still
Chris
got one
Buescher.
more.
It's hard if you're Chris Buescher.
Poor Chris
Can we
Buescher.
mention that too? By the way, like this race does not need to be the regular season finale. I understand that's the whole concept behind it. I just don't think it needs to be like absolutely the last race. Like
It does the same thing in July, in my opinion.
I also do want to argue that. I know like on the teardown they were saying like this wouldn't work as in July, but I'm just like, why not?
It did before.
Like it's still the same thing. Like
Yeah.
it's the same opportunity. Everyone's already kind of know where they are at the cut line anyways.
Mhm.
Like the points aren't going to change that much from a few weeks. Like
yeah.
just have it July 4th.
Just swap, because next year Atlanta is like July 11th or something. Just swap Daytona and Atlanta.
I
think
like the way
that'd
you
be
think,
fine.
Alex. I like the way you think.
I think that just makes so much sense. I don't know.
God, imagine if
But,
we had another super speedway in the regular season. I mean, think about we have like technically 14 different winners if you count Austin Dillon. Like, and that's like with one less super speedway in the regular season because Atlanta's in the playoffs. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. And we might get more because, I mean, Watkins Glen and the Roval are in here. SVG, Allmendinger could like win at one of those or something. So, I mean, it's possible. That won't be for playoffs or anything, but, And then Southern 500, you could have a surprise winner as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's look at the points now. And as you can see, Harrison Burton is now in gold. He's in the playoffs. First time he's probably been on this board all year.
This is so weird. I love this. I want to print this out. Like, I love this. And he's got all his friends around him. Austin, Cindric, and oh wait, Gilliland's not on the.
Yeah, Todd fell off the top 20, it looks like.
Oh.
But so now we have 13 drivers locked into the playoffs, one race to go before the playoffs begin. Truex is plus 58. Ty Gibbs is plus 39. Chris Buescher is plus 21. Is Truex able to clinch it like in stage one? Probably.
He just needs.
Probably.
Well, if there's a new winner, then he needs to be above Chris Buescher.
Yeah.
He needs to stay above Chris Buescher if there's a new winner. So
I don't know. I'm sure Bob Pockris will have all the math on that this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no new winner, he's basically in. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then below the cut line, Bubba Wallace is minus 21, Ross Chastain minus 27, and then below that they have to win. Kyle Busch is minus 106 and Chase Briscoe minus 144. Anyone else not mentioned, they have to win.
Yeah.
And we're going to Darlington, Southern 500.
I love the Southern 500 as the cutoff race. I
like
think
it.
I think it's so cool, right? And I think it does better to keep the Southern 500 as its own identity because I think it kind of struggled when it was the playoff opener to still keep that prestige.
The one problem is that they're going to be focusing on 15th place.
Well,
in
yes,
this race.
but if Kyle Larson wins, it's not about he's into the next round of the playoffs. It's
he won
just
the Southern
won the
500.
500 again. Like
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's for the leaders. It's still about being the Southern 500. So obviously, it's going to be
the way you think, Zach. I like the way you think.
Thank you. It's going to be back in the playoffs next year. But I'm just saying, it's I like this little rough schedule that's just for the Olympics, the Olympic year. So
yeah,
I like it.
So if we look at this, I feel like this might be your top 16 unless like an Eric Jones comes out of nowhere and wins the Southern 500 again. I don't see that because Legacy is out to lunch right now.
Yeah.
I mean, a Chastain could come through and have a really good run.
I think the storyline is going to be Bubba.
Yeah.
They've been running like 2311's been so fast lately. It's just like if Bubba can put a race together and get stage points and Chris Buescher, I don't know. They've been they haven't been I feel like they haven't been doing themselves favors lately. Mm-hmm. This could be a really tight battle. Because I think one of your usual suspects is probably going to go out and win.
Yeah. And you may notice something odd on the left side of the playoff grid here is that Denny Hamlin, he only has 11 playoff points, but 3 wins. You're probably like, the math is not mathing because a win gives you 5 points, playoff points. He lost a whole bunch of them over a penalty. Toyota tore down and rebuilt his Bristol Win engine before NASCAR could inspect it.
Yeah.
Denny did a good explanation of all that if you want to go hear that.
And a big part of the story was that TRD self-reported it, which people were like, I bet that's the last time they self-report it. But NASCAR was going to, it sounds like NASCAR would have found that out anyways, because they always inspect the race running engines. Like they put like a seal on it that can't be broken, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wonder if the penalty is more severe if they don't report it, because then it looks like they were trying to hide it.
Yeah, I don't even think it would have mattered. I think this is one of those classic Denny Hamlin penalties that will definitely matter.
Yeah.
This will definitely matter in 10 weeks after Martinsville. One of those classic Denny Hamlin situations. Like when he got penalized for admitting he wrecked Ross at Phoenix, and then what else happened? There was some other penalty he got in 2022 or something. Oh,
he lost that Pocono win.
DQ'd at Pocono, so he didn't get those bonus points. And then Ross Chastain wall rides, beats him by 2 points. Like, this is going to matter. What's that Mickey Mouse meme? That what does he say in the show? Like, these are clues that we're going to use later or something.
Oh, yeah. Like foreshadowing is crazy this year.
Oh my God. Like this is going to matter. Like
it will.
That's a lot of points because it's he lost 10 playoff points directly.
Yeah. So 2 of his wins, he does not get playoff points now, essentially.
Okay. And then also he lost a bunch of spots in the regular season standings.
Yeah.
So that's also another handful.
75 regular points. So now a few weeks ago he was in the regular season championship contention, but now he's 8th in regular season points. That's less bonus points. Right now that's only going to be 3 bonus points rather than potentially the 15.
Denny said they lost out on roughly about 17 playoff points than what they were going to have. That's huge. That's half a race. I mean, that could really bite them.
That's definitely going to matter because you get 15 playoff points for winning the regular season title, 10 for second, 8 for third, and 7 for fourth, and so on. Yeah. So definitely losing a lot here. But looking at the regular season points, Tyler Reddick is the regular season points leader. So big weekend for 23-11 because you mentioned Bubba Wallace trying to make it in. Tyler Reddick, his teammates, going for regular season championship. Kyle Larson's minus 17. Elliott minus 18. One of those 3 will be regular season champion, and then Blaney could potentially get second, who is 68 behind. I like the regular season championship. It's grown on me over the years.
And it's ending at Darlington. See, it's dumb to decide the regular season championship at Daytona, right?
Yeah,
ending it at Darlington, that's cool.
I do like it. And it's like people that like the old school full season championship, it's ending at an old school track, it's not the same, but
this is cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I love this schedule. I won't love it in 2 weeks, but when the cut line looks like Larson and Hamlin are under the cut line, I'm like, what the heck?
What happened?
What happened? What happened to the sport I loved?
And so we have one more topic here for NASCAR.
Let's talk about the wrecks.
Yeah. So Michael McDowell and Josh Berry went upside down. And the funny part of this is that I believe it was after the McDowell crash.
This was the funniest thing ever.
Steve Letarte does his deep analysis of why McDowell's car didn't completely go over and all this stuff. And it's just this is what the new piece that NASCAR did after the Corey LaJoie flip at Michigan. They did all this stuff. They had this crazy graphic going on. And then not even 10 minutes later, Josh Berry goes upside down.
Comedic timing. That was comedic timing.
It was pretty funny.
That was the funniest thing that's ever happened. And everyone on Twitter was praising that little shark fin.
It was good.
I don't think that shark fin made a difference. I really don't.
I don't know. We're gay. We don't know.
They made that stuff up. They made it up in 2 days. The flip happened on Monday. They had something ready for Saturday night. No, they didn't.
So
that was not going to do anything.
So I have two things. One, the Josh Berry flip was kind of scary because he went head nose first into the inside wall while upside down. And like flips are going to happen, but that was specifically pretty scary because you're upside down, you're kind of just hanging on your belts, and you hit that. But he's like, it probably looked worse than it actually was. This was in the same spot where last year Ryan Preece had that vicious flip with the grass. It took the grass out.
Someone mentioned that too. They got rid of the grass and someone still flipped. They did all that.
I do think that if there was grass there, this would have been a worse flip.
Because Ryan Preece's flip was very violent because of the grass. So you're right.
Yeah. So my thing is around this is that a lot of people are like, NASCAR needs to figure out how to keep these cars on the ground. We can't have flips. It's like, honey, flips happen in every motorsport. I understand the concern, and NASCAR continues to work on it. They always have. And obviously they're concerned after what happened in Michigan with doing the spin and all this stuff. You're never going to be able to completely prevent flips from happening, especially at Daytona and Talladega.
I agree, because a lot of these flips now, like especially a lot of the dangerous flips that we have, like worst example, Ryan Newman at the Daytona 500 when he got hurt. Mm-hmm. Some of these flips are just from impacts, right? Like we have the ones like Josh Berry and Corey LaJoie where it's air getting under the car, and they could always work to fix that. But what happens when a car like Michael McDowell, who didn't flip but almost flipped, just gets hit so hard, they flip. The only thing you can do is slow the cars down. And I don't know if you want to watch 160 mile per hour racing. I don't know. At Daytona, I don't think that's what I don't. Yeah. And to be fair, it's like Denny even said this. It's just like flips aren't that dangerous for the drivers, at least.
And that's something I've said for several times on here, because flips they're made to look awful because the cars look like it's falling apart and stuff. It's intentionally doing that. Like it's made to like fall apart. It's like when they go into a wall. Remember when this car debuted and it wasn't crushing when the rear impacts? It's supposed to like fall apart. It's taking in the damage from that.
It's like why the hit. That's why Formula One cars are designed to completely disintegrate when they wreck, because all that energy gets taken out on the car instead of it on the cockpit.
Exactly. So flips, sure, they're not good by any means. Don't get me wrong.
We don't want cars in the air, especially for like spectator safety.
Yeah. But at the same time, one, you can't 100% prevent them. And two, they're going to look awful. And I think removing the grass was the right thing, because I think the Berry flip would have been a lot worse. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
I think.
Are we ready to move on to IndyCar?
I don't know. Did they flip an IndyCar this week?
No.
Oh.
I mean, one driver tried. He tried, I think.
What, just one?
Oh.
Yeah, we gotta talk about him. We gotta talk about this crazy dude.
Oh man. So Will Power won the race, pretty dominant fashion. Alex Palou finished second. 1 and 2 in points, finished 1-2. Palou maintains his pretty big lead over Will Power. Nothing crazy happened there. Just pretty straightforward. Joseph Newgarden, though, that's pretty notable to me because he got a podium on a road course. And Zach, we've talked about him a lot this year.
We had a good weekend.
We did.
That's a win to us.
I posted on Twitter, like, that's worth celebrating. A Joseph Newgarden podium on a road course. Feels like a long time.
I love the positivity.
Yes, we're so happy.
We're so positive.
Yes.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love, you guys. But then that's pretty much all I have to say about the racing, because it was kind of insignificant compared to the rest of the stories we're going to talk about here. Again, this is kind of like another Mid-Ohio, Toronto. It was kind of like a whatever race, which I assumed that's what we were going to get. But a lot of penalties in this race and a lot of scrutiny toward race control. Let's talk about the big guy first, because Romain Grosjean went crazy. He got a penalty for unsafe conduct in this race.
And
First,
by the way, he was running
yeah.
in top 5, right?
He was having a pretty good day.
Career, like the best race of the season for him, by the way. So that sets the scene perfectly for what we're about to talk about.
So Grosjean, first, he pushed Colton Herta off the track, did not get penalized for
Understandable.
that. And then he... Understandable.
I'm so mean.
So then Grosjean spun out, and then he basically just did not wait for like oncoming traffic.
They do that on iRacing.
He spun himself back out to go going again, and the 20 of Christian Rasmussen came along.
That poor, he's always involved in stuff like this. Christian Rasmussen.
He really is.
He really is.
And Rasmussen nearly hits him. And then Grosjean keeps going on his way. Toby Sowery nearly got collected in this as well. So an IndyCar's like, what are you doing? Penalty. No, don't do that. It was bad.
I can't believe they didn't park him.
I would have.
They should have parked him and pulled his card. Don't come back next week.
Like, that was crazy. That is so dangerous. Like, what are you doing? What's crazy is this isn't even far from the first time Grosjean has done something like this.
I mean, that's literally what dumb people do on iRacing. Like that, don't drive race cars. They don't know what they're doing. That's what they do on iRacing. Like, how do you get, this guy was in Formula One, by the way.
Yeah.
How do you get to Formula One and do that? I don't know.
I don't know
if he did that in F1 before. I feel someone did it at Monza. I think it was Sebastian Vettel. Someone did that at Monza before, and it was really dangerous.
My assumption is Grosjean was really upset, frustrated that he had a good race going, as you said, Zach, and then he spins out. So he's like throwing a little fit, and then he spins his car back out. It's just, do you not value your safety, other people's safety? Because like what he did, if he would have got hit, it would have been very bad.
No,
I know he's been in a bad crash before, and like he's
bro's living on his DLC life right now.
I'm just like, I would think he of all people would understand to be safe.
No,
but I don't know.
Like he got some. I don't even know. Like he's crazy. Like he's just like he must think he's invincible after that. I think that's the problem. He's like, I survived that. All right, I'll be all right. These little nerds, they'll just go around me. These little nerds.
It'll be like in a video game when I turn transparent because I'm driving recklessly. I'll just turn transparent. They can't hit me.
Right. God.
And then this next one I want to talk about is Pietro Fittipaldi got penalized. It was very controversial. It was an incident between him, Scott Dixon, and Kyle Kirkwood. There was an incident pretty early in the race where Kirkwood and Dixon, I think, got together, and then, or it looked like Kirkwood might have crowded Dixon, and then Fittipaldi and Dixon got together. And in my opinion, Fittipaldi had nowhere he could go because they were like just so close together. IndyCar dinged him for avoidable contact. I don't think it was very avoidable personally. It sent Scott Dixon to the wall out of the race. Dixon said in his interview that he was surprised they penalized a 30 and that he hoped he could get back out there to crash the 27.
Oh, wow.
So very interesting. And I believe he said he think the 27 should got penalty, which you can assume by his other quote that he thinks that. And then that was interesting. And then involving the 27 of Kirkwood again, really fun battle between he and Toby Sowery, who's in the 51 coin Rick Ware car.
Mm-hmm.
Toby Sowery was very impressive, by the way, in this battle. It was really fun to watch. It was probably the highlight of the race, this moment. Sowery got by, Kirkwood got by, and eventually Kirkwood blocked, and IndyCar penalized Kirkwood for blocking. So I guess Dixon got what he wanted. Kirkwood got a penalty, but not for that. I don't know if there should have been a penalty. I don't know if you remember this moment, Zach, but
no. But my thing is they penalize a lot of moments that don't cause wrecks, while the moments that do cause wrecks, they don't penalized enough.
Yeah.
Like, and I know I was watching David Land, and he was kind of pinning the Scott Dixon incident on Dixon because Dixon kind of rejoined the track not as safe. I don't know if I have an opinion on that. I think it's funny though, because when Dixon said that Pietro shouldn't have been penalized, David Land was like, put Dixon in race control. And I just think that idea is funny. Yeah. Like Dixon in the car also being race control is just really funny to me. I think that would be hilarious.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He can do that.
He's busy. He's not that busy. He's just saving fuel. Like he can
exactly.
Calls. If he's close, he's like one of those referees that run down the field. Just put black and white stripes on his car.
So, last story, because of course we had to have a Colton Herta moment in this race. He was penalized. Colton Herta was for I guess he stalled his car in the pits during a pit stop.
Typical.
And with the hybrids, you can restart the car now with the hybrids, but there's a rule apparently
not in pit lane
that you cannot restart the car in pit lane.
How dare you?
They have to do it like the old way, I guess, in pit lane. Why?
I think it's like they don't want pit crew members to possibly get electrocuted, which what? I'm sorry.
That why?
Is it?
I don't know.
That's the theory. Oops, I didn't mean to hit my mic. Like, are we that? I get that our super capacitor, don't make me explain it, is like redneck, but like is it that redneck to where we think it's gonna electrocute Jim Bob in the pits? Like, because IMSA and I believe sports cars, they operate under pit road completely under electric power, like the cars do. Apparently, that's what I heard. So
allegedly,
as a straight person said that. I don't. Someone who likes women said that, so I don't know.
It was probably Avery Hage, our friend.
It was probably. Yeah. Oh yes.
Anyway,
classic man who likes a woman, Avery Hage. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, continues our
episode. No, what do you? No, you want me to talk about the super?
No. Anyway, we'll move on. Anyway, no.
Anyway.
I don't know what you're even saying. We've lost.
I don't know. I'm so giggly. I'm sorry.
We've lost the point.
We're too happy.
We're in a good mood.
We need something to complain about next week.
Oh, okay.
I'm too happy.
But anyway, I thought this was a weird moment for Colton Herta. It's just like, of course, Colton Herta has a bizarre moment.
The rule is stupid.
It is stupid.
Like, what do you mean they can't restart the car in pit lane?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the T.
Who was he going to electrocute? Austin Dillon's baby? Who's on pit road? Who's on
the baby?
Oh, who's on pit road and is going to get electrocuted because Colton Herta is?
Shut up. Oh my God.
I mean,
okay.
Like, it's not NASCAR where we got everyone on pit road. Like,
oh my God. Let's move on to the T. I think we need that sleepy time tea to calm you down.
We gotta calm down. We gotta calm down. Oh my God.
So
when I say we, I mean me.
Trackhouse announced that Shane Van Gisbergen will drive a third Trackhouse car, controversially to Zack, the number 88.
What the hell are we doing?
They supposedly got this charter from Stewart Haas Racing. Justin Marks refused to confirm that, which I found weird. But yeah, 3 Trackhouse cars next year. SVG will be in one. First, Zach, I want to hear your thoughts on the 88 coming back. You were a big Dale Jr. fan as a kid.
Why? Does this number mean anything to him? I heard that he maybe drove like a 888 numbered car, but I can't find anything about it. Oh yeah, I think, what is this, 2023? I think his number was 888. And when he did supercars or something.
It was 97, which is what he runs in.
Oh, then why?
I'm pretty sure.
Then what is... So I don't know.
I saw this, Dale Jr. was hyping it up. And I was like, oh, interesting. So I was like, oh, is Dale going to like be part of Trackhouse now? Because he's been thinking about doing something like that. But it's not that. He was just happy the 88 was coming back.
He drove a car with 888 on it. I think it was a bit ago though.
Mm.
I don't
But
know. I'm looking at a picture. So
but my thing, I think what it is, Zach, is that they have the one car, they have the 99, and then they have the 88. So they have the 99, 88. There's like going down. I guess
not
maybe the
how that
next
works.
one they'll take the
No,
77 or something.
that's not how that
No?
works though. No, because that's 11, not 1. Like
They
if
have
you're subtract,
they
I get
have
what
the
you're saying, but
yeah.
like if you really want to go that pattern, then it would get down to 22, then 11, and then it would be like 00.
Yeah. But when they initially chose their numbers, they said they wanted the
The
number
1 to
1,
99. Yeah,
and then they
that's
wanted the smallest number, biggest number. And the 1 because, number 1. But I think 88 is just because to match the 99. I literally think
I
that's
think
all it
that's
is.
fine, but 97 would have looked cool.
It would have been cool.
Like that would have looked cool. I don't know.
Hoping they would do
or
that,
91, because then you're still only using the digits 9 and 1.
Is Project 91 dead, by the way?
Probably. Because now they're investing into this third full-time team. But don't you agree? 91 would look sick because then you're still only using 9s and 1s. That would have looked sick, but whatever. And also he won in that number in Cup. What are we doing? Just
so the second part of this is Zane Smith was released or will be released from this contract with Trackhouse because Trackhouse signed way too many people. They signed Zane Smith. They signed
McLaren
SVG
contracts.
They signed Daniel Suarez to a 1-year extension after this year. It just did not. The math was not mathing with Trackhouse.
They're kind of brutal over there. They're getting kind of brutal because that was the whole thing. They have all these guys, and it's like putting pressure on all of them to be like, okay, we have 5 of you, but only 3 of you can drive our cars. So
I feel like Zane Smith was kind of put in a bad situation. It was his first year in Cup. It's with Spire. I feel like at a point he was just kind of at a disadvantage going into it, and he's gotten better as the year's gone on. He had an awful start. He's running a lot better.
I think Suarez getting a win and getting into the playoffs probably didn't help though.
Right.
Either because it's I think that the move for SVG is obviously so smart because that's a guaranteed, maybe not guaranteed, but he's very likely to make playoffs.
Pretty good chance.
Better than Suarez. Next year, I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah.
Or apparently Chastain as well. So that is such a smart move, and it's taking advantage of the playoff system. It's smart of them to do something like that. I love this whole SVG experiment, if you want to call it that. So,
yeah, I think that is exciting, by the way, for Shane to be full time next year. I am looking forward to that.
He's a star. I mean, he is a star of the sport. World class race car driver. So it's important. It's kind of like our little version of Scott McLaughlin.
Yeah,
IndyCar got to have.
And so Bob Pockris says the likely landing spot for Zane Smith is a return to front row. He won the truck championship with front row.
Yeah, but Harrison Burton needs a ride. So
they have not announced who's driving their third car. They have confirmed Noah Gragson and Todd Gilliland.
Zane Smith is not going to that car. I'm gonna make sure that does not happen. Harrison Burton just won, so that should help him get into the front row car, and then Zane Smith can go join Corey LaJoie and deliver pizzas.
Zach, I don't know how to break it to you, but I think a truck championship might weigh more than being best friends with Todd Gilliland, unfortunately.
I think a win at Daytona means more than a truck championship. But we can agree to disagree.
Ooh. Well, y'all, we got our little argument in for the episode. It was not serious at all, but...
Where is Harrison going to go? Please. Do I want him to leave Cup? I don't know. I think I do.
I thought he was going to go to Haas Factory Team, but they already announced it's going to be Sheldon Creed and Sam Mayer.
Where are all the rides going? So SVG's coming into Cup, and then Zane Smith is probably staying. So what?
We don't know who's getting the 7. Does the 7 still?
Yeah, so Corey LaJoie's possibly leaving Cup. So who else is coming in that's going to knock Harrison Burton out? Cole Custer's coming in.
Yeah, Cole Custer.
So that's probably going to knock Harrison out. Because I'm thinking about, like, you know, if there's drivers coming in, drivers also have to come out of the sport.
Yeah.
But there's only, I don't know, Rick Ware Racing could maybe have a full-time driver in the 15.
True.
It's Harrison Burton.
Yeah. So
I want him to go back to Xfinity.
I mean, you ain't gonna like this. The 15 Xfinity cars technically open. They took Haley Deegan out of it, and then they put Wallace Allen in it. They had Joey Logano in it.
He could go anywhere. He could go back to Gibbs. Wait. Are they going to move William Sawalich up, though?
I might
do that for Gibbs.
I don't know. That'll be something to follow. But we had just talked about SVG and him going to be winning races next year. Well, Mexico City is going to be on the Cup Series schedule next year, and that very well could be where SVG gets a win next year. Mexico City will be on the Cup and Xfinity schedules next year in 2025 for both Motorsport and The Athletic. Official announcement as of us recording will be announced tomorrow, Tuesday, August 27th. It's going to replace a Richmond date. This has been long assumed and reported, whether it was Montreal or Mexico.
All right. I like Mexican food. It's all right.
You like tacos?
That was a dumb joke. I'm sorry. I'm a Richmond native. Well, not Richmond's my own track.
You're wearing a Richmond shirt right now.
I am. Oh, rest in peace. I picked a great day to wear this shirt. Not Viva La Richmond. Whatever. I don't know how to say it.
So this is going to be in June, the Athletic article said. And the Athletic article also said... The article also said that the full schedule very well could release this week as well for Cup. I don't know about all of them, but...
I don't care about the schedule. We already know everything on the schedule. Why?
this has been the main holdup.
It's going to be the most boring scheduled release ever. Like, oh, we already know all this.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be any surprises.
Right? We talked about Bowman Gray already, right?
I think so. Yeah, Bowman Gray will be the clash if we have not said that. I don't really have an opinion on that.
I think it's kind of dumb because it's like you're taking the whole LA idea, but you're ignoring the fact that you're ignoring what made the LA idea cool.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird, but I won't hate to see that once, you know?
Yeah. No, I fully agree. And, well, Zach, is it time for fantasy?
It is. And I'm not prepared, but I will be fine. I gotta pull up the doc or the thing. So
we are making picks for the Southern 500, which is NASCAR Darlington, and IndyCar has a double header at the Milwaukee Miles. We're making 3 picks total: 2 for IndyCar, 1 for NASCAR. Zach, you did end up winning fantasy for IndyCar. You now have a 14-8 lead in IndyCar. I'm very proud of you. You had a rough year last year.
You were talking a lot of trash earlier this year, so I'm glad hopefully it's not over yet. It's not over yet. I don't even
not mathematically yet.
I mean,
I am proud of you. You were very frustrated last year.
Thank you. If anyone's going to come back, it will be you, though. So I'm still a little nervous about IndyCar for some reason. NASCAR, I feel like I care less about NASCAR because it's just so hard. I mean, who would have picked Harrison Burton?
Yeah.
After Austin Dillon won Richmond, I was just like, you know what? Stop overthinking it. I think I have a picture, unless I did what I did last week. No, I think I copied it.
And for NASCAR, I did get a point. I had Bubba Wallace, and you had Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
It was pretty close at the end there because Brad had that penalty.
But then it saved him from getting in that wreck. So.
Yeah. It was intense. All right. But a NASCAR at 16, I have the lead, and you have 15. We're neck and neck, as we always are in NASCAR.
Yep. It's close. It's going to be a good battle to the end. You ready? Yep.
All
right. 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to pick Tyler Reddick, and Alex is trying to pick... Please don't be Reddick. Oh, darn it.
Yep.
We had the same idea because he's been on a hot streak.
Yep. I think he's going to go out win the regular season championship with it.
All right.
But I have to pretend I don't think that now. Thanks, Zach.
Fair enough. Now, I wasn't sure if you were going to do that, but I guess that makes sense.
I didn't think you'd pick him.
Yeah, I didn't think you would either. I don't know. Ooh, I know. I have a plan. Okay. L plan.
L plan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm grabbing a pick. All right. I'm ready.
All right, I am also ready. So 3, 2, 1. I am trying to pick Kyle Larson with this ugly mustache, and Alex is trying to pick Denny Hamlin. I listen, Denny. If there's any race for him to get back on the horse, the Southern 500 is it.
Yep.
But man, Denny was talking about how awful of a weekend he had, and it sounds like some personal stuff was going on like Friday at the track. I don't know what that was about. So I don't think I want to pick Denny for a while because I think he's having some issues.
Right.
With that mojo. So I just went with Daddy Kyle Larson, who's probably a race away.
I had Kyle Larson typed in my search bar, but then I'm like, he has been kind of mid lately, admittedly. Yeah. So I feel like you got to go with the Toyota. But then I also thought RFK was really good here as well. Earlier in the year, because Brad Keselowski won this race earlier this year. Brad Keselowski won this race. And
for real?
Chris Buescher almost won this race after the deal with Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
So I almost did Chris Buescher. I just don't think that's going to happen. So that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
All right.
Yeah. I like that. Also, Ryan Blaney.
Maybe
it's about time he wins the Southern 500.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It just is. He's really been good at these fast tracks lately. I don't know if it was at Michigan because I didn't watch, but I don't know. It's about time for him to win the Southern 500. So watch out for him. And also, the rest of the Final Four drivers from last year won the other crown jewels this year. So
I was just about to say that Blaney's the only one who has
literally in sync today, which means these IndyCar picks are going to take an hour.
Buckle up, y'all! Buckle up.
Lord, this is going to suck.
All right, Milwaukee Race 1. We have 2 of these to do. This is going to be great.
Oh my God! All right, let's speed it up then. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, Joseph Newgarden.
Yep, people pick Joseph. Right. Shocker. Okay.
It's all right. I'm okay if we match. Let's match through the whole field.
I mean, we probably will at this point.
All right, I'm ready.
Hold on, I'm grabbing a pick. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Scott McLaughlin. Okay.
Damn. Okay.
I was going to give you him that time. I was not going to give you him that time. All right, I'm ready.
How are you doing this so fast?
Because I already know what I want to pick. I've been planning this.
I'm like typing them out. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to pick William Power. Okay, someone different. Okay, I thought you were also going to go with Will Power.
I took Pato Award.
Hasn't Penske won every oval race this year? That's what I'm going on. Team Penske. Penske perfect.
That's fair. I know Pato's kind of in a rough streak right now, but
he didn't really have a chance at wherever we were last, Gateway.
Yeah,
the last oval. So
yeah, that's definitely Penske's obviously the favorites going into Milwaukee.
Yeah.
All right. Race 2.
Yay.
Why did I not save these?
Is race 1 Saturday night or Saturday afternoon?
Ooh. I think it's Saturday night. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday night.
I feel like you're lying to me.
I would never lie to you.
IndyCar, Milwaukee, race 1. I think it's they don't. Race 1 starts at 5 p.m. Central. So
Yep.
it's not. It's evening. I mean,
So it's pretty much exactly like what Gateway was.
yeah, but you gotta have some
And
red
then
flags if we want the lights to be on.
the Sunday race is 2:30 Eastern.
All right, you ready?
Saturday race is only on Peacock, by the way. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Not the angry picture of Joseph.
Joseph. Okay, Joseph.
Yep.
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 Is anyone surprised?
No. I love how it just took us. I love how last time we picked Joseph first, but we were like, I had some reservations about picking him, but we still both picked him anyways. And then he won Gateway, and we're both just like, yep, Joseph.
He's back. It's fine.
Back to business. Finished third at Portland. Like, oh, he's back. He's so back.
All right. I got my next one.
All right. I also have my next one. 3, 2, 1. Scott McLaughlin.
Same picture.
That's the actual game. We try to do the same picture. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm ready.
All right. Let's go.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Well,
it's loading.
Okay, is it? William Power.
Blocked. You are blocked.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
You ready?
All right, I am ready as well. So 3, 2, 1. I'm trying to pick Alex Palou, and Alex is trying to pick Pato. Okay. I was wondering if I should like go Pato because I had a feeling, but Palou's been so consistent.
Yeah. Palou's probably an easy top 5. That's probably a really good choice.
Yeah. But also like my strategy there is like I need to make sure I pick every potential winner because that's what I'm like. I need to block you from picking a winner.
Yeah.
That's my threat. That's my biggest threat right now.
Like I said at Gateway, do not count out David Malukas.
I thought about him, but I didn't want to be like David Malukas. Like he's never won before, so.
Hesitate just because he's never been to Milwaukee. It's pretty identical to Gateway, but a little different.
Yeah, it's different.
But yeah, don't count Malukas out. But yeah, so let me make sure I write those down. So I have Pato for both races.
Oh, that's easy for you.
Palou.
Easy for me, actually, making the graphic.
You're welcome. See, I care about you.
I have the championship contenders. I just realized. I have both the championship contenders.
Nice.
And they're going to be performing really well this season, or this weekend. Jeez, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Oh my God. Do we have any new nice comments?
We do. It's a plain and simple nice comment from TikTok. It's from Slide Job Racing. And they said, keep up the good work, fellas. Thank you. We will.
All right, Dad. I will. Thank you, Dad.
We are winning. Thank you.
Are you winning, son?
Thank you guys for checking out this week's episode. We had a lot of fun. As you can tell, we were giggling the whole time.
I know. I'm tired now. I was laughing too much.
I hope you guys were giggling with us. You can leave a nice comment somewhere, where we will see it and we'll read it. You can do 5 stars on Apple Podcast, written reviews on Apple Podcast, 5 stars. We'll read those too. 5-star Spotify. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Our next goal is 400 on YouTube. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/gayracingpod. You can follow us on socials at gayracingpod, at Newgaden, and at Dreamy Zack Racing.
Yep. And we will see you guys next week to talk about IndyCar at the Milwaukee Mile, the return to the Milwaukee Mire.
Meyer.
And NASCAR is at Darlington for the Southern 500. Yeah. That's a good weekend of racing. Labor Day weekend. Xfinity's at Darlington as well. That's always a good race.
Ooh. Yep.
We're going to have good racing this weekend. I hope I stay home because sometimes my family likes to go out on a holiday weekend. I'm just like, girl, I got racing to watch. So many good weekend.
You busy.
Racing. Yeah. Oh, Lando Norris won F1 this weekend. Another win for hot people.
Congrats, hot people.
Joseph podium, Harrison wins, Lando wins. It's great. It's great. We're thriving out here.
We're so back.
We're so back. All right.
And Zach, another win for hot people. We had a very fun episode, you and I.
Fun episode. We love NASCAR. We love racing. We love being
Yes.
gay.
We love being hot.
We love being hot. It's so hard, but we do it for you guys.
Yep.
We will see you guys next time. Stay